Another episode of Agricultural Acts. We think it's episode number 9, so we'll call it episode number 9 of Agricultural Acts. Hanging out at Indian Ladder Farm Cidery and Brewery. And, well, my name is Jeff. I am the pseudo-host of this show. We've got our producer here, Milos.
I think it is Milos.
Yeah. That's Dieter.
He just flew in.
Sitting straight across. You flew in or Milos?
No, Milos.
Okay,
right
great to have Milos here with us. We've got Alex, the cider producer. We've got Scott, the brewer. And we've got another special guest. We didn't blow it by having special guests in the past.
Well, he didn't hear the last.
He didn't hear about it yet. Okay. So welcome.
We just kind of roped him in for this one.
Welcome to Agricultural Acts, Kevin Mullen.
What am I here for again?
This is just, forget that the microphones are here. This is just a conversation that's being recorded for podcast. Kevin from Rare Form, it's great to have you as a guest for episode number 9.
Thanks for having me. I'm really stoked to be here, Ashley.
Let's find out about you. How many times have you been arrested in your life?
0, actually.
Fantastic. Way to go. That's great.
He's never convicted.
Yeah, that's right. Arrested.
Rare Form.
Define that better.
Rare Form has become a staple in downtown Troy. How long has it been there now?
7 years in May.
7 years in May. And are you a Troy native?
No, I actually grew up in Colorado. I was born in Alaska, grew up in Colorado.
What, is everybody from Colorado?
I guess so. This is our last guests. The Porns are from Colorado.
Yeah, Adam Farm and Fermentation, or Adam Brewing. They were here last, and they're from Colorado.
They're from Erie, Colorado.
Erie? Oh, yeah, I know Erie, Colorado. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that.
Stars are born.
So you're born and raised in Colorado.
I was born in Alaska, lived in Colorado, and then moved to Troy from Seattle.
Okay. What took you to Troy? The law?
When we were in Seattle, we moved out. We were going to actually open our brewery in Seattle, and then my wife wanted to get her her grad program done in painting first, and so we came out here for it and said after that we're going to head back. And while we're out here, we fell in love with the East Coast and decided to do it here.
It's an easy thing to do. There's the pace of the East Coast is probably what is most recognizable when you come from places like Alaska, Colorado, and Washington.
Totally, and the proximity. It's like we can be like New York so close, Boston so close, Montreal so close. That was awesome.
That is really the fantastic thing about it. You've got the capital region that has a good sized population, but doesn't have to deal with those major metropolitan things, and they're a hop, skip, and a jump away. Yep. You like taking the train?
I do like the train, actually.
Alex and I are big train fans.
It's great. Jump on the train and zip down, have a beer.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
The first time I realized that, A, you could take your own alcohol on the train, and B, when you drank all of your own alcohol, they also have a bar on the train.
Yeah.
That was an absolute game changer.
Yeah, but you can't count on their bar being open.
That's right.
So you got to count for yourself to be open.
Yeah, and you can't count that there's not going to be a line that's about 4 cars long. Yeah, especially if you're traveling in the holidays. So you and your wife moved here from Seattle, and with the goals, you got brewery building on your mind.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's when you found the spot in Troy?
So we were, the entire, like I said earlier, we were thinking about we were going to move back and do it in Seattle area, Pacific Northwest, because we loved it so much back there. But then as we started to, the East Coast started to grow on us, we started looking at different areas. And we looked at Hudson, we looked at Beacon, and we looked at Troy. And this was 2010 where we really started to dissect things. And 2009 we were living in Albany. 2010 we started living in Troy. In 2010 we started working in Troy and talking to the city and the other places. And Troy was like, whatever we can do, we'll let you know. We'll help you. And so it kind of stood out to us between the 3 cities.
That was really kind of the third or fourth renaissance for Troy, right around that time, where they were just being so welcoming and bending over backwards to bring in businesses, and a real boom that we see, thankfully, a lot of those businesses, including Rare Form, still there and doing real well. You guys have been, you've got a smaller space, but you've been expanding nicely with the patio and everything you've got going on there.
Yeah, I mean, the patio has been huge for us, and that's just been new due to COVID, with that temporary patio permit and what we're able to do with that. And then we've just pushed out hard on, when we have
I'm sorry, did you say you just pushed out a hard-on?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to move over a little bit. Alex, move over.
He's very,
That's right.
he's very excited about the patio.
That's right. Very excited about that. But yeah, since then it's.
So you did say hard-on.
I did. Pushed out hard on.
Okay. So he did say hard-on, but just hard.
There was
on.
punctuation.
Just hard.
I'm actually sitting on Alex's lap right now because it's
Scotty,
looking
you
at
love
me.
it.
I can barely breathe.
So an opportunity to use the space out back there, and you really beautified it. Been showing movies, I believe, in the beginning.
Yeah, we did outdoor movies, and we have music coming back now. So starting this Friday, we have 3 bands playing. So stoked about that, and trying to do some more stuff. Because I mean, for us, a big part of what our tap room is really, beer, atmosphere, including like the music scene, and we have a little bit of food, but that's pizza. But those are just there to kind of help you get by. But welcome more people to come in, but really it's about beer and music.
Yeah, it's an incredibly beautiful tap room. That
Thank
bar is just beautiful. The logo, if you're not familiar with Rare Form, is it rareform.com?
Yep.
The website, simple as that.
Rareformbrewing.com. Yeah.
Rareformbrewing.com.
Don't forget the mystery machine.
Yeah,
right,
totally.
yes.
Yeah, White Lightning.
White lightning. I love white.
I've driven that.
She's a beaut. What is she, an 85, 86?
Terrifying to
it's
drive.
crazy, Ashley. She's 2002.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, it looks like in the late 90s.
it does.
Maybe late 80s.
It was the my wife's parents' only vehicle for 10 years. That's all they had.
Really?
And it was completely
They
stripped
were van
out.
people.
They were, and it was comfortable for him to ride in, and so they got it. And then they drove it for 10, 11 years. And when we opened the brewery, they said, if you want to come down, it's all yours. You just got to fly down to Phoenix, pick it up, drive it back. And we're like,
So you drove that from
Yes.
Phoenix?
Oh, yeah, and we slept in the back the entire way.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was
Well, who
great.
drove?
Oh, we took turns. Yeah.
Oh, you said you
we
slept
actually
in the
got
back the
pulled
entire
over
way.
in the middle. It was like 4 a.m. We got pulled over in Oklahoma, and at that time, the police officer came and he was poking a window. We had a little Rare Form sticker on the back that we put on it. It was like Rare Form Brewing Company. He's like poking, and it's completely wide open. Comes up to us and he's like, whose vehicle is this? And we're like, well, this was my wife's like, this was my parents, but they gave it to us. And he's like, can you call them on the phone? And she's trying to call them at 3 or 4 in the morning, in Arizona. We're in Oklahoma driving, and we're finally we can't get a hold of them. They're asleep. And he was like, that's fine. Just keep driving.
Get out of my jurisdiction.
It's like he said, he's never been arrested.
But that sounded
right.
like a
I've
close
never been
call right
arrested.
there. That sounded like that might have been a
Yeah.
hard-on time. I don't know, Kevin. Rare Form. So Alex poured me one of the Rare Form brews that you brought over here to Indian Ladder Farms.
Nice.
It's a lager, right?
Is that the ones over there? Oh. American Adjunct Lager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great drinker.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
you.
Yeah, Rare Form has definitely become that is the staple of Troy. I mean, that's the brewery you go to when you go to Troy. You guys have been crushing it since you guys have opened.
Thank you.
You're just on the way up and up and up. So cheers.
And
to
it's
that.
nice to see that it's not that Troy is, they kept on saying it's going to be Brooklyn of the North or
Yeah.
Little Brooklyn. It's it seems like in the third incarnation here, it's Troy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is taken on its own
Which is
identity.
how it should
Which
be.
is great.
Yeah.
I always hated hearing that, it's Brooklyn. It's like, no, it's not. It's never going to be,
no.
It
No.
is Troy,
But people go over to Troy just to try your beers, and that's a beautiful thing.
Thanks.
That's what
I mean,
opening a brewery is all about, is to also let people see the area that you're in and let people experience what you got to offer. And you guys are doing an impeccable job at it.
I didn't know we shared an anniversary. Our anniversary's in May.
Oh yeah, really?
Our anniversary is on Saturday, which is May 1st.
Oh, ours is May 30th. So
Really?
Well, you got it end capped the month of May.
I know. We
That's
can go
right.
to each other's anniversaries.
Cue the Stevie Wonder happy birthday.
I don't see it happening.
No. Stevie Wonder's where you are.
I still want the farm man out here where I can camp and drink beer.
You can just show up whenever.
Yeah, true.
So the what is it then? Your 10th anniversary coming up? 11th.
This will be our 7th.
7th anniversary. I'm not good with math, Dieter.
That was just a number, really.
Moved to Troy in 2010, but it didn't immediately happen.
Yeah, we didn't actually open. Yeah, we started working on. We were supposed to open in 2012, and then had issues with a place that we were going to be at, and then we finally opened in 2014.
So a brewery having issues opening?
Yeah, imagine that.
Did it have anything to do with the authorities that be?
Yeah, let's keep going with that.
We had a verbal agreement with a place that we were going to be signed. And okay, and the only reason I'll go down this path is that there was another person that behind us that had the same issue. But we had a verbal agreement with somebody and went down there for what we thought was going to be the signing day of our lease, and they tripled the rent that day.
Oh, that's not
and
good.
we got up and walked out of the space. And
I
said,
can't imagine
you were
how.
squatting in that space?
No, well, we
got up
were
and walked
no,
out?
but we spent money on the place and started getting things forward. We worked a year towards it, got our bank loan approved with that address and everything, and then they as we thought we were sitting down to sign the lease, it was like, oh yeah, by the way, we've talked to all these people and now we're gonna triple your rent.
I feel like in the last 10 years too, like the real estate in Troy has definitely
it's
gone
definitely
way
increased.
Up, and Troy is booming right
Yeah.
now, and Troy is like, totally going through a transformation, and so that's totally, feasible that.
But
that's,
7 years
that's the
ago.
situation.
Yeah, somebody caught wind of what was going to be happening.
So-
but
and
The
then-
start of gentrification.
So you're responsible
Well, so then
for that. Rare Form
another local meadery was enticed into the same space during that time, and then the same thing happened to them as it came to signing day after we backed out. So it was crazy.
And then so what the person that tripled the rent then said, I'm not going to get this. We'll go back to our original plan.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing now.
How many people
They don't
tried
have
to be
they
in
don't
there?
have a brewery and they don't have a meadery.
What do they have?
I don't know anymore.
They have soup. They got spaghetti.
That's right.
So
they don't got two successful people. I guess.
is it the state of New York that does this? There's a defined number of liquor licenses that you can have, right? And you got to wait for someone to sell theirs off, lose it, or die until you can get one.
Depends on the license.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about for brewery, cidery, things like that. Do those fall? Do brewing beer and producing cider fall under the same license?
No, not really.
No.
No, they do not.
There-
Okay.
Two
There's-
separate entities.
yeah.
All right.
There's been some things that have drawn more closer together lately, but they're still completely different. I mean, I think have you seen the change with the C3 now that's going to happen or whatever?
Yes. Yeah, and when we first started, we were told that we had to get a brewer's bond and a winery bond,
Yeah, you don't need that anymore.
and which you don't need to do anymore. It only slowed us down for 6 months, but it's okay. We feel good about it.
Yeah.
Well,
happy.
that's what attorneys are for, I guess, right?
Also, just to let you know,
Because it just seems so much to keep track of.
just to let you know, Kevin is also our representative for this area for the New York State Brewers Association.
Regional representative.
He's our regional.
Well, what does that entail? That seems pretty heavy.
It's a highly paid
Happily
position.
Oh,
elected.
yeah? Well, no wonder he's got that dope van.
Lucrative.
You guys certainly got in on some prime real estate. Just being in the city of Troy and like the prime time downtown area. It's like you guys got in early, and now Troy is seriously like turned around and super. Everybody wants to go to Troy. There's such good food there. There's such good beer. There's
Right.
such good everything.
Very unique food.
You guys
and
got in
beers.
it before it was like that, so that's an awesome thing.
I mean, it's definitely, it's cool. I mean, I love it. I coming from like Seattle and having a lot of diverse food and loving diverse food, I think it's nice. Like today we did a collaboration with Westhill Brewery, and talking and like, what kind of food do you want? Like right now within a block we can do Korean, Thai, sushi, bespoke-y, rock. What do you
Funky
guys
hot
what do you
dogs.
want? Yeah, and absolutely, and famous lunch.
Yeah.
Alex is not a fan of famous lunch, by the way.
What?
I'm into it.
That's not what you said the other day.
It's just
Oh yeah.
It wasn't famous enough for him.
Which funky hot dog
You
place?
said this is garbage.
Which
did not
funky
use-
hot
I
dog
did not
place
use
do
the
you
word
prefer,
garbage.
Alex? Which one's your jam? Funky hot dogs.
Nathan's.
Nathan's.
Or Home Depot.
I don't know. Everybody's speaking for me right now. I enjoyed famous lunch, and I'm not going to say anything bad about it.
It's really the atmosphere. I love their sauce. I love the dogs. The RC Cola. I mean, forget about it. That's fantastic. The atmosphere is great.
I've never
I
eaten
know
there.
it was cool. It was
mean,
like, it was
Really?
super old
I
school.
know.
All right, we're going. So you're right down the road. I get so turned around in Troy with all the one-ways and everything. What's your physical address? I can find you by going around the block and going around the block and going around the block.
Yeah, so we're 90 Congress Street.
Congress.
So like, if you're at Famous Lunch Manneries, go across 4th Street. We're right there, across from Troy Light Company, and then 3rd Street and down around the corner you got the Ruck.
There.
So-
That's a good little walking around to do there in downtown Troy.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't have to go far.
Yeah, you
No.
go to Rare Form, then you go get famous lunch, then you go to the Ruck, then you go back to Rare Form.
We have a pizza with the zippy sauce right now. Which is
Smart.
good.
Very smart. Rare Form, the name itself comes from the form that we often get in when we're being a little loopy, I would imagine. Boy,
Yeah,
he's in rare form today.
It's a mixture, yeah.
Huh?
So going back to the origin of that would be my wife and I for a long time. I used to always think about like what would like names of breweries be and stuff, and start writing them down and start thinking about what is us. And we're big into art and we're big into beer, and we're trying to think about how do we encapsulate that into one type of like phrase. And her art is really about like line and form. And then with us, we're the beer like rare, and how do we like make things stand out? And so when Rare Form hit, we're like, that's it. I guess the double entendre of it, like being able to be like, you can be Rare Form in a great way, you can be Rare Form in a bad way. It can go either way.
You get
And
Rare
believe
Form
me,
at
I've been
Rare
in
Form.
both
We're
of
going to do
those
that in the
many
second
times.
episode.
What was number 2 on the list? Like, what was close? Or-
Hard on.
See, it's already started.
That's right. How did you know?
Keeping an eye on those pants over here.
Yeah.
Did you have
I don't
other
remember.
names in mind that you were
Oh,
like,
we had
super into?
I had a book of names. It was like one of the fun things that we do, and we still do with beer names.
There you go,
Like
that's a
when
beer
we're
name,
driving
book of
and we're
names.
just like talking and like that'd be a great beer name, or that would be a great beer name, and just write.
Every
like-
brewer has
Do you throw them in your notes on your phone?
Oh yes, I do. I do,
every brewer
totally.
has a book or a notes section in their phone of what a beer name could be or
Yeah.
future brewery.
Did you ever
Just
text
to
your
have
colleagues
fun.
in the middle of the night with them?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good, so
do.
we're not the only ones.
Yeah.
I spring out
We
of
do it
bed.
completely.
I just got a great one.
And I use my son's words all the time.
Yeah.
Like he'll be like this, and he wants to. We're gonna find a name by this, so you can't steal it.
Is it copywritten?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It will be as soon as it's spoken.
It's not camera.
All right, I'm not saying it anymore.
Let's check my phone out right now.
It's pending.
No, what was it?
But he wants to name his band A Hug and a Kiss, and I'm like, that's a great beer name. I'm gonna name it.
Yeah.
Sure.
after that. A Hug and a Kiss.
Is it a Kiss tribute band?
No, it's his own band. A Hug and a
Or is
Kiss,
it like
and I'm like,
or is it
that's
like a
fucking great.
seal? Or is it like a seal cover band?
Because there's already 2 tiny kisses.
Kiss from a
so-
rose.
Right.
Yeah.
Who does the brewing at Rare Form? You?
Yeah, so I started off with a lot of it. Now I'm pushing a lot off to Peter John, my assistant brewer. He's fantastic, and I'm just getting torn up in too many different ways. So all the recipes go through me, and then I send it off to him, and I know that he does it all, and I'm happy with it.
And all
It's
of the brewing's
fantastic.
done right there on Congress Street?
Not all of our breweries on down there. We do a majority of the stuff there, but except for all the stuff that we're doing, we have to contract out for our can stuff. So we're doing it Single Cut North for a lot of it, and we're actually trying to find more right now. We just can't keep up with what we're trying to we're trying to do. So it's been that's been a late most recent struggle.
The Single Cut North up there, that is a huge facility, I guess. I see, I like reading cans when I'm getting drizzly, and I see that a lot of them say canned in partnership in Clifton Park, New York, and I'm assuming that's
Yep.
what they got going on there.
Totally.
It's a big brewery.
Big place.
It's a big brewery.
It's a pretty.
It is probably too big for any one brewery to manhandle themselves. You know,
They're a 50, right?
it's a 50 into mostly hundreds and only 3 60s.
So when you're throwing those numbers, you're talking about barrels? They have 50 barrels.
And how many gallons in a barrel, Jeff? Come on, we've been doing this for 2 years.
I know. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 300 gallons.
You nailed it.
Yeah, that's right.
1,301. 31.
There we go. Ding, 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 ding,
Alex
ding.
was giving me too many fingers.
3 fingers and
It's better than 1 finger.
Yes.
Flipping them off.
All right, 31 gallons in
Yes.
That seems,
One barrel.
when I look at the barrels, oh no, that seems about
That's
right.
a cidery back there.
Yeah.
In cider, we do gallons.
All right.
Those are barrels.
Yeah, I
Those
learned
are-
that
those are
and
53s.
forgot it. You're right. You're right. I'm going to have to go back and
We
listen
just
to
do that to be confusing between the two businesses here. Scott talks about everything in barrels and liters, and
Yeah,
Alex
like a normal person in the metric system.
and
Sure.
Alex talks about everything in gallons and liters, and
Oh.
doesn't use barrels.
Just wonderful. Just wonderful. Most breweries, they can accommodate 2 or 3 barrels within their facility, I would think. So 50, just to give people an idea of how massive that is.
Well, your facility down on Congress Street is how many barrels?
5 and 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so right now we have a 3-barrel system, and we're putting in a 20. And you saw how big the 20 is, so imagine a 50.
Yeah.
And tomorrow.
Well, actually, Jeff,
Tomorrow
you
we're brewing
haven't
100
seen the 20
Troy
in
Division.
there.
Wow.
I think I saw
you're
on
doing a
social
100
media
barrel
some
batch?
pictures of it arriving.
Tomorrow.
cheers. I'm drinking Troy Division right now.
Thanks.
Oh, a little of that.
Beer.
Yeah,
Journey
let's
out
get some
there,
of this
that
Troy
can.
Division in.
Thank you.
Probably, as a fan of music and the band Joy Division, probably hands down my favorite logo, label, T-shirts.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes, if you,
I'm not sure. I didn't realize I was wearing it right now.
you are. So, Kevin, if you have one of those in a youth large, I'll take one.
That might be a little too big.
Medium husky.
Yeah, medium husky.
Medium husky would be one
Yeah,
of my
he's
favorites.
planning on losing. He's
Milos,
going to lose a little weight.
appreciate that. Again, we've got Kevin from Rare
COVID's
Form,
chunking them up a little bit.
Dieter, Scott, Alex from Indian Ladder Farms, our executive producer Milos here for episode number 9 of Agricultural Acts. There's been a couple of collaborations between Rare Form and Indian Ladder Farms, right?
Yeah, we've had some fun.
Yeah, we've done a couple.
What's
We've
the
done a
newest
couple.
one?
Well, we
did
We
that.
just did
Bootleg.
we did
We just
bootleg lawn darts. Which
That was a great beer.
Bootleg lawn darts.
It was exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for like a nice West Coast IPA.
Stronger alcohol. It was great.
So
It was delicious.
how do these, for this particular collaboration, you guys were hanging out one night? Was this something because of COVID? It started on text messages or whatever? and
So we strip them to their waists and spray them with a hose. And there's
powder all over
a large dirt pile.
I must have been really drunk for that one.
you forgot
I
all
don't
about
remember
it, huh?
that.
Yeah, well, there's
you don't remember
pictures.
that?
Don't
We
worry.
got photos.
No, that's a bidet. I have a bidet.
Well, I know Scott likes to text me at awesome hours, so I'm guessing that's
No,
maybe.
you're at work. You're at work still.
Yeah. That's what I meant, Scott. Awesome. That's 5 a.m.'s awesome. But so a text goes, "Hey, you want to do a beer together?" Walk us through how this works, because we love the collaborations and want to know the story behind them.
Well, with doing the collaborations, like I'll text Kevin, and we kind of have a concept, and we kind of move forward on what we want to do. It's like, what's our concept? Like, what are we picking? It's like, okay, we want to do a West Coast IPA, so we're gonna think of something that's malty and bitter and piney, just like the old school hops that you would use. And
These dudes appreciate
take it back like 10 years.
These dudes appreciate real heritage beer, the old the old. Everybody calls it old school beer, but it's really like the beer that we all grew up on.
And coming from the
good-
Pacific Northwest,
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of the birthplace of it.
100,000 IBU.
Totally.
Yeah. It's like rips the enamel off your teeth kind of thing.
You don't see
But nowadays, like the kids, the quote unquote kids nowadays don't know anything about that because we're like, oh, this is
not just kids,
This is
Scott.
too bitter.
This is too bitter.
Yeah, Scott.
I don't want to drink
Alex
this.
thinks of himself as an adult.
Oh no, there's adults with multiple children that demand the sweet and fruited IPAs.
So when was the last time you saw on a board, the big board at the brewery? You always see the ABV. When was the last time you saw IBUs?
Yeah.
That always used to be a thing, right?
Well,
Oh yeah.
you don't see that anymore.
Why is that? Is that because people are afraid of IBUs
Yes.
and they might steer
Yes.
themselves
It's like,
away
oh,
from it?
If it's really high, it's gonna be bitter.
Yeah.
what-
I don't
Jeff,
want to drink a bitter
What is an
beer.
IBU?
I don't know what the I stands for, but bitter units.
International.
International bitter units. So it doesn't matter gallons or liters.
Nah,
It's international.
It's still liters.
says the
all right.
guy that worked for a Belgian brewery.
Hold on.
It
Still doesn't matter
actually goes
anything.
through. What is it? Tinseth.
Most people were just making it up anyway.
I was going to ask, what is the scientific measurement
bitter.
for?
81.
Okay, all right, that's exactly it. It's like Pitchfork rating albums.
What's the wind chill? Cold.
I want to sell a lot of this. This is
It
a
actually goes
1,000
by
IBU beer.
Tinseth.
It was marketing.
I'm sorry.
It was
Scott's
marketing.
dropping some science here.
Tinseth.
Tinsith.
Tinseth.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
That-
you put it in a beaker and a machine goes bloop, bloop, bloop,
Yeah.
81 Tinsmith.
Tinseth.
Tinsith. Spell it.
Tinseth.
Okay, Tinsith. All right, so there is an actual.
There is actually
I don't know how you guys
a
guessed my
measurement.
password.
And
81
so-
Tinsmith.
What is it? The measurement of alpha acids, right?
There's a measurement of alpha acids.
All right. And so breweries were coming to see that, all of the low IBUs are selling. We're not getting rid of the higher IBUs. We think it's a BS number, or could be, because it's all, what are your taste buds like? Have you burned them off
the
with
recent-
hot food? What?
The recent palate with the general public has been, they like sweet.
Sweet
And
and not bitter.
Right.
So, I mean, we
Well,
like
sweet's always
to,
been a thing.
everybody in the brewing industry, because most of the people that I've ever, come in contact with, they've been in the brewing industry for a long time. I'm a new cat in the game, and I'm a cider guy, but, everybody that I've had to work with, it's like, they come from an older, lineage of craft beer, and that's what they were making back in the day. Which it's not even back in the day; it's back in 2009, 2010. It's like, I don't mean to make it sound old. It's just like the new palette of. I feel like 2014 happened, and everybody was like, "Oh wow, this beer's sweet. This is the most amazing thing." Now everybody wants sweet, and now everybody wants fruit in their beer.
Until they all get diabetes. And then,
So you guys, you knew you wanted a West Coast IPA. You
Yes,
wanted
we want-
44 billion IBUs.
Now we went. We went like 90.
It was 90.
It was in the 90s.
Yeah.
With 100 being the highest. No?
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
Yeah,
for
okay.
the human to actually.
you
say.
don't really get much after a 60. A human can't do much after a 60. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, if
We
you
were
take a
at
hop,
100.
Jeff, if you take a hop cone like what we grow here, and you put it in your mouth, and you chew it like what some reckless people think that it's okay to do, you're gonna experience like 700 IBUs in your mouth. It's the bitterest thing. It's not to be done. But
And you're going to experience for the
if
next
you
hour
want
and
to
a half.
experience, if you want to experience, because there's a lot of people out there that want to experience the maximum of what's possible, and if you put a hop cone in your mouth and you chew it up, you're gonna get,
I remember you guys bringing into the studio a bag of pellet hops.
You ate one, you
I
dunce.
ate one.
You ate one, you
We
dunce.
told you not to, and you
we
said,
told-
I'm doing
Pretty
it.
sure you said you have to try
No, I
this.
didn't. We said
No,
don't.
maybe-
You were like,
maybe you said-
I want to hear
you
how
have
that
to
went.
Well, like you said, for about an hour or two.
I think we were on the air. We were actually on the
Absolutely.
air when that happened.
Yeah, and I played it off like,
That was a supercharged Hemi of IBUs.
cool.
He's like, you know what? Screw you guys. Going home.
So we want a West Coast IPA. We want super IBU.
Yeah.
Is that what it turned out to be?
Yeah, we wanted. I think also with that too, like that super West Coast type of style beer. It's like resiny. It's dank. You know, like you're getting like instead of that juicy citrus flavor, you're getting like resin, piney, super like danky weed characteristic, almost onion garlicky at times. And with the oils of the hops that we got. It was fantastic. I think
That
we
were
did a great
those
job.
were the estate hops here from Indian Ladder
Yeah,
Farms.
Yeah, we tend to have very.
There was a lot of Centennial and Columbus.
Yeah.
Columbus 001,
We have
which
a-
had the highest.
We have
Yeah.
some very
Or
dank,
Mercy.
piney. What's the other word we want to use? And a lot of allium, a lot of oniony.
Yeah.
Especially in our Columbus, gets that way.
And that's based off of the soil that they grow out of, or what?
It's just the skill of the farmer, Jeff.
Okay, very nice, very nice.
It's,
You got a little
it's,
dirt on
it's
your
all
shoulder
Dieter.
there. You might want to get that off.
Is that dirt or BS?
Maybe both.
We
al-
refer
it's
to it as
also-
compost.
Oh yes, compost.
It's also, I mean,
There might be a DBS, Dieter BS.
But you say it like you know. You know?
really do,
in a
man.
low tone.
Really do. Like, here, try this hop, Jeff. You'll love it.
We got him to eat an oyster on the air, and he's from Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Very landlocked.
That's right.
but I feel like, you know, the malt profile
and I've been
of
dying
that
for
beer,
some ever
And now
since.
he's a convert.
Yeah.
You know?
the malt profile of that beer also complements the bitterness, and so it doesn't make for this astringent and gross bitter beer. It makes for a very smooth, and it's got bitterness in there, and it hangs out on the back of your tongue. When you taste it, it's very, you get everything from it, and the malt profile definitely, washes over it and balances it, and it makes for an amazing beer. I love that beer.
Yeah.
And I think
And
it's
by
also
the-
important to talk about like that it's higher in alcohol. So after a couple, you don't care what the rest of it
Yeah, there's
tastes
that.
like.
And the alcohol,
What is that,
also
like
rinses
7.7?
those oils off of
Yeah.
your tongue.
Yeah,
What was
totally.
it, 7.7-ish?
Seven.
Something-
This
yeah.
beer's long gone now.
Yeah.
right?
Well, by the
Yeah.
time you hear this, that beer has been ancient history.
And what's it called? What was it? What was the
Bootleg
name?
lawn darts.
Oh yes, bootleg lawn darts.
Don't ask me why. It was just in my notes.
Well, why?
It was in my notes.
7.7.
Dieter has a long
why not?
story.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a good story.
No, Dieter, why don't you?
I believe they were
Oh,
called
I don't know.
jarts,
I don't know
weren't
if
they?
Kevin actually knows the name of
Jarts.
the bootleg log.
Yeah. Well, back when I was younger, the
That
lawn
was like 2007, right?
Yeah, it was around 6, 7.
2007.
It might have been as late as, the earliest 5. So, back in the day, lawn darts were not illegal.
Right? No, we played them all.
Kids
the time.
were encouraged to play with them.
We were.
What could go wrong?
Like who?
I
Forget
played
about
many
the
of
rings
them.
you're supposed to shoot them into. You just throw them at
Give
your
a
buddy.
couple of 10 and 11-year-old farm boys some lawn darts. Getting them in those rings is fun, but can we throw it over the house?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because the higher they go,
the
the more
fly.
loopy they get.
Yeah, good fun. It turns out you can throw them over the house. And you can catch Brian Nash's sister Jody in the thigh with one.
No. Oh,
Oh,
Jody.
yeah.
Oh, Jody.
Yeah, they might have been
Poor
one of the
Jody.
reasons that they're illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you ruined it for all of us.
I think it was
Well,
the brother,
Jody
wasn't
ruined
me.
it, really. I mean,
But Kevin,
It was a long time ago. I mean, that was
Kevin,
05. I don't know who threw it.
Kevin, that's how we got our name, bootleg lawn darts.
I love it.
And that's why I ended up in the notes.
I love it. I love it.
well, there's been there's going to be more collaborations, and I want to talk about those. I think we're coming to the end of episode number 9, which is going to be a 2-part series, Kevin. Yeah, if you haven't picked up on Agriculture Relax.
I figured it out.
Yeah, we just kind of sit around and BS and have a good time.
We
and the time
have
flies
Pakistani food now from our new Pakistani restaurant in Altamont.
by. Unbelievable.
I know.
All right. Well, let's
Altamont's
not plug them till we try it.
Altamont is becoming the new Troy. Troy North.
Kevin Mullen from Rare Form Brewing Company on Congress Street in Troy. It's rareformbrewing.com. Indian Ladder Farms, our hosts here in Altamont, New York. ILFCB.com. Dieter, Kevin, Scott, Alex, and our executive producer, Milos. Thank you so much. Tell your friends about this podcast and share it around, won't you?
Try the Spanakopita.
Yeah, try the veal. You're all day.
You've been listening to Indian Ladder Farms Cidery and Brewery owner-operator Dieter Gehring. Its head brewer, Scott Veltman, and its head cider maker, Alex Gill. The producers and engineers are Troy Pohl and Ian Carlton. Any questions, comments, thoughts, or suggestions can be directed to podcastilf@gmail.com. That's podcastilf@gmail.com. I'm Jeff Mo'rad. Thanks for listening. See ya!